It's just me. Don't worry about it. It's just me. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So, on the board, what number are you? Who wants to share out?
8.
So, Jason is sleepy? Okay.
I'm 8. 4.
Maximus.
4.
Maximus is 4. Okay, cool. What are you doing this weekend? Are you just excited? Okay. Victor.
8.
8. Okay, I got you. Solid.
Guys, I'm 0. I can't see it.
Okay. Alrighty. So, good. Well, I'm glad no one's at least 9. Everyone's decent, feeling okay. So that's good. Alrighty. So we're gonna get started on notes. You're gonna have 1 minute to complete. Let's get started. First one is PyDAG.
What happened? It's left it.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, what we want to remember on PyThag is that, one, we want to make sure we do squiggly. That's important. But really the most important thing is also knowing that C is the longest side, which is the hypotenuse. But slanted distance on a grid, please don't forget that, because there are questions when you ask us, what is this? I don't know what it is. More than likely, that's what it is. It's PyThag, but you just don't realize that it's asking you for that. And then the next keyword is diagonal, so that's very important to also have on your notes. Alrighty, so next we have interest. So on your notes, you're gonna have, on your reference sheet, you will have the first part. So you're already going to have I equals PRT, and then the second one for compound. What you need to remember is everything underneath that. If you have everything underneath that, and you're able to analyze the question, meaning really know what they're asking of you, you will be okay and feel very comfortable in getting the correct answer for interest. Some people already have this done. That means that you really have been studying, and I love to see that. Okay. Next, we have linear equations. So on linear equations, we need to ensure that we are remembering that we do plus table, and of course we want to remember the linear equation, and then our keywords. The keywords will ensure that whatever they asked you, you understand exactly what's going on. We're going to have some problems today, and those keywords will let you know if you're using linear equations or not. When we look at the questions from last year's STAR, the one thing that we did see on almost every slope question was per each and every, and then it always says starting. So knowing that will help you with that as well. Okay, so the next one is ordering numbers. Ordering numbers is really simple. Just remember to do y equals y equals. Now, the one thing you need to realize is, what is the question asking me? Because more than likely it's asking you to compare two sets of numbers. And then also solving equations, we can, add that on the ordering numbers, and that's when you have X on both sides. Okay. Next, we have transformations, which is the longest one, I think mainly because of the rotation table. On your STAR test, you have, the most questions that you will have will come from geometry, which that's under, transformation is under geometry, and linear equations. So knowing the rules for transformation will help you get most of those questions correct. Under linear equations, actually having those keywords will help you also get those questions correct. And really, transformation is not that bad, especially once you have all of the rules written. This one takes a little longer, so I'll give you a little bit more time, so I wanna make sure everyone has the rotation table, well, all of it. And then we added at the bottom the rule, because for dilation, we wanna make sure that we are always multiplying. So that's what the KX, KY is. And then understanding that how you find scale factor is getting new over old. Surface area, last one. So, the most important thing to remember on surface area is that we change big B. So we wanna make sure, on our reference sheet, we're going to see that volume equals big B times H. But we are changing that to pi r squared times H. You have to have that on your reference sheet. Some people do remember it, but always write that on your reference sheet so that when you have a volume question and you go to it, you know exactly what to put in. Also, when we are doing the surface area of a triangle prism, make sure you're always dividing the area of the base by 2. So those are 2 things that were added to that. That wasn't on the original notes. If you copy these every day, you study these every day, I guarantee you will be able to write all of these out when it comes to the test. Okay, so we're gonna do a little something a tad bit different. I need for everyone to pay attention or you are not gonna understand what's going on. I'm going to give everyone a problem. But everyone's gonna have a different problem. Your table mate will have the same problem, but the people around you will have a different problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the problem, we're gonna highlight the keywords, we're going to write the topic and then the strategy, and then solve the problem. The reason why we're doing this is because what we're finding is when you're actually testing, the hardest thing is when you look at a question, you don't know what's going on. It doesn't come to you what exactly the problem is talking about. So what we want to do is get in the habit of identifying what is this problem about. So that's our topic. I'm a little bit confused on what you all are doing when I haven't given you an assignment. So what are you doing over there? Okay, get off of that. Going forward in this class, you will get in trouble if you're on video games or off task at all. At all. We always need to be on task, and it shouldn't take me to have to walk around and see what you're doing on your screens. Please go. Okay, I will pass the problem out. You will read the problem. Once you read the problem, you will identify, what is this from? Okay, you will identify what the problem is about. After that, you will write the strategy and solve it. Then after we do that, we will share out, and then you will work your problems individually. But at this time, I'm giving you time to work together with a partner on these particular questions. So does everyone understand what we're doing? Hold on, I'm coming with the problems. They're everywhere. Okay, excuse me. Someone go. Which one did I give you all? Actually, did I miss anyone? Doesn't have one. You want? Okay, hold on. You ready? Yes, you can write on it. Okay, I'm trying to mix up the questions, so 1 second. Okay, on the top of your paper, make sure you have what the question is. So if I'm reading it, the first thing I want to say, this is, I'm sorry? Okay, I got you. I'm just saying this, I don't know what you have. For example, Pythag. And then you know that it's Pythag because of what keywords you want to circle that. And then the strategy you will use, more than likely, it will be Desmos. You also know a formula that you can use. This was on this already, but did everyone get a problem? No. No? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Robert is no. Yes. Okay, so I'll give you 4 4 minutes to work the problem and then we'll share out. And at this time, you have the opportunity to actually think and collaborate with your table mate. Or the next person on the side of you might have your problem. If they have the same problem as you all can work together to solve it. If they don't have the same problem with you, then you can't. Joanna has this problem, Rodrigo, if you wanna move here. I don't know who else has that. Have that problem if you want someone to work with. And please don't just, I don't wanna just see, yeah, good job. I don't wanna just see, I'm just gonna use an example 4. I need to know what type of strategy it is and how you actually came to solve the problem. Leave one is Chicago Treasures. Get off that. I don't ever want you all playing games in this class ever again. Ooh, please. No more games in here. Yeah, you're gonna share out and then I'll give you the packet that you'll complete. Okay, we have a few people still working, but a lot of people have finished their problems, so we're gonna go ahead and start. Sorry. Alrighty, who has the first question, this question, who has that? Arturo, can you read it for us?
The ordered pair shown in the table represents a proportional relationship. What is the missing coordinates? Use the correct numbers to keep the opposite table. Not all numbers will be used.
Okay, someone from that group, can you circle the, keywords in that and the question? What keywords did you use? Or tell us, it's fine. Proportional, so the proportional relationship. What type of question is this? So it's proportional, so you can, how would you solve it? How are we looking, what are they asking us for? What are we looking for? Oh, you all have this too. Alan, how did you work it?
I think table Desmos and cents proportional cost is, 0, 0. I put 0, 0 and -6 for X and 3 for Y, and then it showed me the line. And from there I got the answer.
Okay, that's a good strategy. So when it says proportional relationship, you know that it's proportional when it crosses the origin, so we know that the y-intercept is going to be 0. It's gonna have a constant relationship, and you can figure that out, but the strategy that was used, that Alan used, was plugging it into Desmos, and once he did that, he did plus table, and then he plugged in the missing coordinates. If the y-intercept was 0, he knew that those were the correct coordinates to use. Did anyone else that had this problem use a different strategy? Okay, what were your answers? What answer did you get to go with -4? 2, and what did you get to go with -2?
1.
Okay, 1. Okay, good job. Alrighty, who had this question? Only you two? Okay, Joanna, read the question.
Lewis already had some money saved.
Hey, shh. We cannot hear if you all are talking. Go ahead.
And plans to save the same amount of money each week. The table shows the total amount of money Lewis will have saved. Y at the end of X weeks. Based on the table, which statement is true?
Okay, so what type of question is this? Linear equation, good job. And it wants to know which statement is true. So what was your strategy to find out which statement was true? What was M? M was 12, and what was B? Okay, now, she gave you, that's good job, great job. She identified that this was a linear equation. What do you need?
Miss, you got a sharpener for my pencil?
Sharpen your pencil and please leave.
Okay.
Please do not come in here, bye. Dylan, okay, hurry, cause we're in class. Dylan, bye. If you didn't get it, that's enough. What do you need, Gio?
Ow, we pressed the side.
Mr. Luby, bye.
She's
I don't know.
She's not in. She's not in Mr. Luby.
Okay, well, wait for her out there.
She's in the table. She's right there.
Hold on, someone's out. Close the door. You all have literally disturbed my class. Okay, so Joanna said that this was a linear equation and she was correct. So to solve it, she used Desmos, and she found out that the M was 12 and the Y was 13. Now, she already worked it, but you all did not work it, but she gave you valuable information to answer this question. So based upon the information she gave you, which statement is true?
D.
Which one?
D.
D is a David. Okay, and how do you know that?
Because each is like.
Each is a keyword for slope, exactly, and then it said started at 13. Good, even if you didn't work that, just knowing what M is related to and knowing what B is, then you will know that. Good job, Jordan. Okay. What do you say? Who had this one? Who had this question? Okay, this one I would like for you to go to the board because they actually need to see what you did.
The both of us?
Either one, whoever wants to. Max, oh, okay, that's fine. Christian, while they do that, can you read the question?
Point N, 4,8, and point N. Points N, -4, 2, can be grafted on the coordinate grid. Which measurement is closest to the length of MN in units?
Okay, and what type of question is this?
This is,
Pythag. Okay, good job. This is one of the most missed questions during the interim because I think maybe you didn't understand that they didn't give you anything. Well, they gave you the coordinate points, but you didn't see anything else, so it confused you a little bit. Some people possibly. But this is Pythag. This is what it says, slanted distance on a grid. So they gave you the 2 points. They plotted those and then they counted the squares, so we have 6 and 8, but then what else do we do? Because that's not the answer. And how did you get 10? Okay, yes, so then they put it inside Desmos, the 2 legs to get the hypotenuse of C, which is 10. Good job. It does. I do agree with that. It's a great tool to have, but we just have to know how to use it. All right, who had this one? Who had this problem? I know I gave it to some people. Oh, okay. What type of problem is it? How did you work it? Abigail, read the problem.
A cylinder is shown with its dimension in feet. Which measure is closest to the volume of the cylinder in cubic feet?
Good job. Okay, so what type of problem is this?
Volume.
It is volume of what? A cylinder. So how did we work it? What strategy did you use?
So we.
Now I have the right answer on your paper, so just say it.
You put, B equals pi r squared, times h. And then you put in R, you put in R is 13 and h is 24.
Yes, and what was your final answer? What was your final answer? Correct, that's correct. Okay, this time they gave you the radius, which is good, but if that line went all the way across in the diameter instead of the radius, what would you do to get the radius?
Divide with that.
You have to divide it, but this time they gave you the radius, they gave you the height. The part you have to remember is just the formula turning big B into pi r squared. Good job, ladies. Alrighty, I think this way. Oh, wait. Who had this one? Did anyone have this one?
I hate to have them.
That's not that hard.
But it's like,
It's not even like super strange.
No one had this one?
I'm gonna make an honest guess. I think it's B.
No, let's work it together as a class then, no problem. Okay. Jason, read the question.
Oh, it's actually.
Andrew divided 3,500 into a new bank account. The account earns 3.25% interest compounded annually. No additional deposits or withdrawals will be made. Which value is closest to the amount of interest an account will have earned after 4 years?
Okay, so we're not gonna work through it all, but I just wanna know what type of problem is this?
Interest.
Interest, which one? Compound interest, exactly. I'm sorry. So, you would do, but the only thing on this problem that I would want you to, of course, know that it's compound, but are they asking for, what are they asking for? What kind, which answer?
They're asking for the interest.
The interest. So that goes to show whoever said these two will be probably wrong, cause if he deposited this amount, the educated guess will tell you it wouldn't be this amount, they just wanted to know the interest.
Eight. I mean, I said 8.
Okay.
Oh, I got that right off the top of my head.
Okay. Now, I know someone had this one. Who had this?
Oh.
What type of problem is it, Victor?
Huh?
What type of problem is this?
Inequality.
Inequalities, that'll be under
Ordering
ordering numbers, yes. So what strategy did you use?
Y equals.
Y equals, okay. Actually, Victor, this one, can you write it on the board? The numbers that you have on your paper? Do you have the numbers on your paper? You left that, do you have it on yours, Wyatt? You left it in decimals? What were the two numbers that? The first and the last answer? But what were these two numbers, the two numbers you were comparing, what were these two numbers? So you were looking for a number that was not less than this number, well, less than this number, but not greater than this number, correct? And then it ended up being, but you will have to do y equals for all of these in order to know. They got the correct answer, but a lot of these ordering numbers you will have to compare. So you will have to do y equals for each number. So for the square root of 20, for this fraction, and then figure out what they're asking me. Now that I know what they're asking me, I'm gonna do y equals for all of these numbers, and then I know what x is. Does that make sense? Okay. Alrighty. Now, so basically, the strategy that we went over today is identifying the topic, writing the strategy, then working the problem. So your exit ticket today is going to be 7 questions. They go over different topics,
Please don't tell me
but
it's a
on,
Please don't tell me it's a story too.
no, it's not the start test you went nowhere, no, it's different. Okay, you have 7 questions, you're gonna go, what I want you to do is to identify the topic and keywords, and then work it. Always show your work. This is a grade. Some of you, it's a couple of people today, while we were sharing out, just really didn't, I don't know, we were zoned out today. That's never okay. We only have 6 classroom days before you take a very important exam. So coming to class and not ready to work is not acceptable. It's never going to be a day where it's a free day. That's just out of the question. We'll discuss it afterwards. Man, it depends on how well you do. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're good, you're fine, just yeah. I'll take it all at the end. I'll just take everything at the end. Also, just a reminder, we want to make sure that we're writing our notes every day. Every day, write your notes. Come on, let's go. We have 10 minutes. And this is your exit ticket and a grade.